You know, when you're sad, but you're happy about being sad. It's this book. Hi, welcome to my channel. I am Tisha, and today I'm going to talk about Medonina Forgot by Sabahattin Ali. I think I have read this at the perfect time. It was a tragedy, but it felt so comforting, which is weird, I know, but I think it felt so comforting because it makes you feel seen and understood. The characters are relatable, and even though this is set in 1920s Berlin, it's still relatable because it's about human connection. It's about the feelings and complexities of human emotions, the loneliness, friendship. One day, one person can shift your world just like that, and how you can never go back to the same. I resonated with both the characters, although they are a little different, but they are similar at the core. Let's talk about the themes of this book, and first one would be relatability. Raf is, at first, towards the beginning of the novel, it seemed like he's very ordinary, he's very simple, and what story he could tell? I mean, who is he, right? He's just another guy, he's just an old man who can't take a stand for himself. And as the novel progresses, evident that, of course, everyone has a story to tell, no matter how simple, no matter how boring someone might seem like. There's a lot of things going in their inner world, and the narrator of this book was the first person, I think the only person who could ever see the protagonist and be like, okay, this seems interesting, I want to know his story. Even the narrator of the book would be someone who is prone to loneliness because when he was meeting his old friend after a long time, he didn't be like, oh, this is my friend, and he was not really happy. I mean, his friend was mean, yes, so maybe for good reason, but either way, I think the narrator was prone to loneliness and he could find a friend in the protagonist, even though they were never really so close. You know, that feeling of human connection, even when you don't talk too much or like you don't know so much about the other person, it's just the curiosity, the interest, the desire to connect that makes us feel connected, if that makes sense, right? Oftentimes we even it's psychological too, like oftentimes we feel connected to someone, but we don't really know much about the person. And why is that? Because our desire to connect is one of the main factors which makes us feel connected. That's a thought to ponder at midnight. And Raf and Maria both are so relatable. Raf's loneliness, his complexity of emotions, his fear of rejection, and Maria's enigmatic personality. I mean, Maria was such a pleasure to read. I mean, her character. And yet, in a lot of ways, I could relate to her. She's the kind of woman who is happy on her own, but there is a deep seated loneliness which surfaces when she meets Raf, and the little walls she has built. She desires to have friends, but she's like, I don't need friends. It's suit yourself, you know? That fear of being rejected, that fear of being hurt, it's so deeply human. And the whole novel is like how you open up to someone and the connection. It's beautiful. Another theme of this novel is disruption. Raf was living his life just the way he is. He didn't have any friends. He was not expecting anything of anyone. He didn't have a good connection with his family. He was always in his head. His inner world is very rich since the since his early years. He daydreams a lot and he finds the world boring. I resonate with that so much. But yeah, so and he didn't feel lonely as such, you know, until he met Maria, when he started to feel all these emotions, and when they got close to each other, when they became friends, that bliss of connection with another human being. Although he did fell in love with her, just after she was gone, it was never the same. He couldn't go back to his old ways of, okay, that's just how my life is. He was devastated. And he has beautifully explained in the novel. I can give you an example with that famous saying, it's better to have love and lost than not loving at all, which, in my opinion, is false. And this novel in itself, and the novel itself depicted it as false because he beautifully described how, after meeting her, it was just never the same because you can't go back to your old ways after knowing that such kind of love exists, such kind of connection exists, such kind of soul connection exists, this familiarity, this comfort, that this feeling of connected exists, and it exists for him. I mean, it could exist for him. Earlier he was like, this is just the way I am, and there's no one who would understand me. After Maria, he's like, he knows that someone could understand him, and someone um, could make him feel so connected and happy. So after losing her, it was never the same. Like, you can't go back to the old ways because there's this disruption in his belief system that there is existence of such connection, which he lost. And it's very devastating. And I can relate to it a lot. In my personal life, I was never lonely. I was always alone, but never lonely until I met someone who became a friend, a very good friend, a best friend. And this was a tragic connection. From the beginning of that connection, I could tell that this is not going to end well because we were so different. We were like literally polar opposites, and yet somehow we could connect. Like, somehow we had this connection, and it felt surreal. He was a karmic partner. But after we broke things off, I could never be the same. I could never go back to that same contentment I felt when I was alone because I was like, such connection exists, and how can I go back to my old ways? It was subconscious, but like, yeah, that's when I have started to feel loneliness in my life, which never really left yet. So that was my little story and little example, and that's just how beautifully this resonates. This human connection, the author has written it and plotted it in such a way that it's just so human. That's just how I can describe it the best. It's so human. Them being them, they are so creative. They connected so much. They used to hang out in galleries and parks and stuff like that, and I'm just so jealous. Like, yeah, I want that. But yeah, another theme of this novel is self-destructive behavior. Rav was one of them. It was very evident towards the end of the novel, even in the beginning actually. But like, in the beginning you couldn't tell, well, like, why is he doing what he is doing? But towards the end, middle to end, it's like, okay, this is making sense. It's not, he was not just someone who didn't took stand for himself, or someone who couldn't take stand for himself. He was deliberately tolerating all that bullshit just to punish himself in a way, but it was subconsciously mostly. But it was just like, he was so done with this world, and like, he didn't had any expectations from himself. He was a great man actually. Like, he was like great at what he does. He was the only German translator in his work, and he was very good at his work, and yet all of them in his work treated him badly, and he just tolerated it with a smile. I mean, when Maria refuses him for the first time, that's when he was like, I'm not gonna expect anything from anyone, and in this world, like, this world has no place for me. And he just shut off just like that. But then again, in the later parts, we see that Maria does love him, and it was such a tragedy after that. I mean, at first, Maria seemed to may have like friend zoned him, and later we could see that she was actually trying. She was trying to, you know, fall for this man. And it's not like she was forcing herself or something. It was just how she was, how she came to be in this world with all the misery and suffering she have gone through since 7 years old. She just couldn't trust anybody. She just couldn't believe that she could be happy or anything could make her happy. She always had this ideal of like chasing something. I mean, it felt like chasing something that doesn't exist. Later, she could find that yes, it was right in front of her, and the only thing that was missing was her trust that this could be possible, this could be true. Even when she knew that Raf loved her so much, she really couldn't believe that he loved her at such depths. And after she did realize, she told herself that yes, this is it. I must be loving him. I mean, that is how the mind works of someone who's intellectualizing their emotions. And I'm guilty of that. That is also like really relatable. It's so human. This whole novel is so human. Raf was talking about Maria. Actually, he was talking about women in general. They ached for the unattainable, the opportunities missed, thereby mistaking their yearning for love. Which is actually not just women, it's just humans in general. We only remember and long for the things that are unfinished in our minds, and it's a psychological process. But yeah, but in reality, the lacking was in her own mind and emotions, that feeling of trust, that feeling of possibility, like really believing that something is possible for you, really believing that something good can happen to you. That was what she was lacking. I love this sentence. It's like, I love you, not madly, but I love you with a clear mind. Exactly. We should love people with a clear mind, not the limerence, not the infatuation, but with a clear mind. That, yeah, you know what I mean, right? Emotional health really affects physical health, right? And Maria also got into that lung disease. I forgot the name of it. And the most tragedy is that when she got pregnant, she um, didn't revealed anything about Rev to her family or anything, and even to him, because she wanted to give him a surprise. Then life gave her a surprise, yeah, a shock. But like, it wouldn't have been a tragedy if she just, I mean, it would have still been a tragedy, but because she died at childbirth. But it wouldn't have been that much of a tragedy if she would have just let him know in the letter that I'm pregnant and it's yours, I mean. And then she also didn't, it's the frustrating part, she also didn't tell anything to her family about Ref. And she was like, she didn't thought that she would die, and she did. And then it was a secret, and Ref thought that she left him. And then 10 years later, when he found out that she died, he just couldn't forgive himself for not believing in her. He couldn't just forgive himself for doubting her love towards him. And he just punished himself till his death. Just when things were getting better, that's when the I guess that's how books work. That's how tragedies work. I've read a tragedy after a very long time, and I think you can tell how frustrating I am, how frustrated I am. This book was comforting and tragic at the same time, and I don't know how to explain it any other way. It was just deeply human, and you could relate to both of the characters. And there's this beauty of connection and this complexity of characters, which I love. This book makes you think, and I love things that makes me think. I've finished reading this, I guess, a few weeks ago, and I'm still thinking about it. And that's how impactful this is. I mean, of course, I have given a lot of spoilers, so assuming that you have already tried, you should give this another try when you're feeling sad, but you want to feel good about feeling sad, if that makes sense. The portrait, the self portrait, was described in such beautiful detail, and I loved it so much because her dark eyes were lost in thought, absently staring into the distance, drawing on a last wisp of hope as she searched for something that she was almost certain she would never find. Who describes a portrait like that? I mean, so good. And the fact, and the very fact that she accompanied him so many times looking at her uh, own portrait, and he never realized he was so deeply into the portrait that he was never like, literally the person in the portrait is sitting behind right next to me and we have even talked, and he glanced once or twice but he didn't recognize her. That's just that was so, that was funny. That was funny. But this is how destiny works. Even after that, they met again, and it's just, destiny. But then tragic destiny. So, destiny. And this is like how, how polarity works. Raf was described as a feminine man, and Maria was described a masculine woman. They each balanced each other out, and magnificent woman. I love when someone describes a woman magnificent. She's something. I like her. I like her. I like her. And another favorite part of India here, I have this where Raf describes love and then Maria describes love. My psychological mind thinks that Maria may have had an anxious attachment style who is hyper independent and avoidant tendencies when single, and when attached she becomes anxious attached. Maybe, I'm not sure, but it's just how the way she describes to be consumed body and soul, that's what love is to me. And yet she's so hyper independent, and it's just that longing and yearning for something that you just can't fully define and know, only be felt. Anxious avoidant mix. I've enjoyed this book so much. Although it broke me, I did enjoy this book. I enjoyed doing this review. And if you're interested in more reviews like this, or book hauls, or book recommendations, then give a subscribe, give a like, give a hype, and bye bye. I'll see you next time.